Hey viewers, we are back with another intense cave diving story. This is the story of a legend, Sheck Exley. Sheck Exley is an American enigmatic diver. He was a mathematics teacher occupationally. He spent a big part of his life in diving and making world records. No one could reach the depths in cave diving he reached. He established many of the basic safety procedures used in cave diving today. Exley was also an innovator of thrilling scuba diving. He wrote 2 books on basic cave diving. In 1994, he was trying to set a depth record by diving into the world's deepest sinkhole called Zacaton cenote in Mexico. Let me tell you about this wonderful deepest sinkhole first. El Zacaton is located in Mexico. It is the deepest known cenote in the world with 1,112 feet of depth. In the sinkhole, the hydrostatic pressure hits 487 pounds per square inch. This much pressure can implode the diving equipment as easily as you can crush a styrofoam cup. The same is the effect on the human body. Oxygen toxicity and high-pressure nervous syndrome come in handy because the air is not only unbreathable, plus there is a mixture of other gases as well with extreme water pressure. If things go beyond control, air embolism can occur, which is the most feared thing in the diving world. In air embolism, gas bubbles enter your circulatory system through small ruptured veins and lungs. These bubbles expand during the ascent and can obstruct blood flow in the arteries of the brain by passing through the heart. This can result in oxygen toxicity. Sheck was an expert diver. He knew these dangers. Therefore, he spent an entire year preparing for this dive with his friend Jim. They were going to drop down to a near-vertical cave with a gear of 200 pounds. So that at these depths, the inert gases in their trimix tanks will be absorbed into the bloodstreams. Water pressure will keep them compressed until they return to the surface. They decide that they will rise to the surface slowly, making stops on the way to process decompression. Following this method will keep them in water for a minimum of 10 hours. Another matter was the air supply. Because you cannot carry enough gas for 10 hours, dozens of air tanks called stage air designed to speed compression were tied into the descent lines at various stops. Even with these extra tanks, they could take only 6 breaths per minute. In preparation, Sheck dived into a huge underwater cave at Bushman's Hole in South Africa with a depth of 863 feet. Before moving further in this video, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel. On Wednesday, April 6, 1994, as this dive was a huge deal, many people, including their families, press reporters, writers, a television film crew, and photographers came to support Sheck and Jim. They entered the water through the Nacimiento River. Jim set his descent rate of 100 to 300 feet per minute, then to 600 feet per minute, and Sheck set his descent to 750 and 800 feet per minute. Sheck continued his dive even faster than before. His body started getting into fits. His vision started spiraling, and his body began itching and stinging. It was high-pressure nervous syndrome. He hovered at about 750 feet to consider his options: abort or keep going. He decided to go down more slowly this time. As he reached the bottom at 860 feet, his body started shaking uncontrollably. He was standing where no one had ever stood, at the bottom of the deepest sinkhole. He looked around and inflated his BCD device and began to rise. He was more than halfway to the surface before the syndrome subsided. Meanwhile, Jim was at 900 feet and was shocked to find that he had breathed more air than he planned. He decided to rise with the help of the BCD device. He switched his main air tank to his backup, and he noticed on the way back that all the tanks in Sheck's descent line were still intact. He knew something was wrong. Sheck's wife went in the search of the bubbles at 250 feet depth, but found nothing. Finally, Jim was told that they lost Sheck in the dive. He went numb as he heard it. They couldn't go back to recover Sheck's body, as the only person on the earth who could go to such depths was only the legend himself. They found his body after 3 days of surfacing. One of his tanks still had gas, and his device read that whatever happened to him underwater was after 9 minutes at 974 feet. It was guessed that he had HPNS. The whole diving world mourned for him as he was a diving legend. That's all for today. As you've made it this far, please let us know in the comments, what do you think of this incident? Please leave a like and subscribe to Catastrophe. Thanks for watching.